Lots to get into, mainly NBA. And as you guys know, Rob, and the audience, the listeners, I am one of the official voters for the NBA regular season awards. The awards were due, your votes were due at 6 p.m. Eastern today, 3 p.m. Pacific. I turned mine in Saturday afternoon. And Rob, I'm going to read my MVP ballot to you and see if you have any issues. And then I'll read my All-NBA team to you and see if you have any issues. A little birdie told me you do. So we'll get into that.
I have a big issue, but go ahead.
Okay. At number 5 MVP, because you vote for 5 people, and then they tally it, you get a certain amount of points. I assume, I don't know off the top of my head how many points, but 1 point for 5th, 2 points for 4th, 3 points for 3rd, 2 or 4 for, and then they tally. And that's why, Rob, you could get the most first place votes and still not win if the guy gets the second most, beats you badly in the, in terms of finishing second. You know what I mean? So anyway, my 5th place MVP, Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavaliers, had a fantastic season. Rob had a 70-point game this year and broke the Cavs single season record for 40-point games in a season, breaking LeBron's record. LeBron played 11 years in Cleveland, and we know he's not primarily a scorer, but he is the all-time leading scorer. So that's pretty impressive in your first year there. Number 4, Rob, Jason Tatum was an early front runner for the MVP, had a great year.
He faded, though, didn't he? He was early on.
He kind of faded. I mean, his game didn't fade. I mean, he had some bad games here or there, as did everybody, but I mean, he still ended up averaging like 30 and 8. I mean, led the Celtics in scoring and rebounding, and they're obviously one of the top teams as far as a chance to win the championship. So he's number 4. Number 3, Nikola Jokic. Now, he could end up winning it. We know a lot of people are going to vote for him. Would have been his 3rd straight, or it will be his 3rd straight if he wins. Look, he's had a great year. There's no doubt about it. For me, my knock against him mainly was the defense. He's not the defender that the 2 guys I put in front of him are. He's not even close. They're 2 of the best in the league. He's not on that level. And also, they didn't get to the free throw line like they do and cause the type of havoc that getting an opponent in foul trouble causes. Like these 2 guys ahead of him. And then I'll admit this, Rob. This would be his 3rd straight, as I said. And I do hold that in a little higher regard. Like, I'm not against voting for a guy, to win 3 straight. But if he's going to win 3 straight, which Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Giannis Antetokounmpo have not done, then you better be head and shoulders above the rest. Because, Rob, we can look back at those guys in the year they had a chance to win 3 straight. Their numbers, in a lot of cases, got better. Especially like Jordan's got better. I think Kareem's got better. And they still didn't win it. And so I got Jokic 3rd. 2, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. He's won it twice before. Hadn't won it in 2 years. I don't think he's going to win it this year, Rob. He might not even finish second. Most people think it's between Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic. But I got Giannis number 2. He's had a tremendous year. One of the best defenders in the league. Obviously did his thing offensively, rebound. He does it all, really. Rebounds, assists. And even though he's not a great shooter, he scores as much as anybody in the league. So I got him number 2. And then number 1, Rob, you know who it is after hearing these guys eliminated, Joel Embiid. And look, here's some of the reasons. First center to lead the NBA in scoring since he did it last year, but outside of him, since Rob Shaq in the 99-2000 season. That's almost 25 years.
How come he didn't win it last year then? You voted for
he
him
just
last
didn't.
year, didn't you?
Honestly, I got to look back if I voted for him or Giannis.
I thought you voted for him last year.
I wasn't sure if I voted for him or Giannis. I may have, but he finished second last year. But also, Rob, the highest points per game for a center since Bob McAdoo back in 1975. That's almost 50 years. First center with 3 50-point games in one season since Kareem in 1972. That is more than 50 years. Tremendous defender. Free throws, gets there 12 times a game, which is astronomical, and hits 85% of his free throws. Rob, and here was a big thing for me. He's one of the top 10 clutch players in the league in terms of scoring points in the clutch. You know, the clutch is a game that's within 5 points and has 5 minutes or less left. And he's one of the biggest clutch players in the league, above Giannis and Jokic, in both not only scoring, but blocks and steals. There was a game I think it was Dallas, when he blocked a shot from Luka late in the game, pinned it, I believe, against the backboard. But so those are some of the main reasons that I voted for Embiid, and we'll see if he ends up winning. I think it's going to be one of the closest votes we've ever seen. But those are my MVP. That's my MVP ballot, Rob. Any issues with that?
Yeah. The only issue I have with you is I don't think you're being fair because you're factoring in other things rather than just Embiid should just be the winner. Like, I really believe like you're.
What do you mean other things? Oh,
the bringing up who didn't win 3 should have nothing to do with your vote. It just shouldn't in a vacuum. If you're just going on who had the best regular season, I think that you are, whether you want to be or not, I think that you are fixated on that, and that's a reason why Jokic can't get your vote, because you really are, you're looking at it from a historical standpoint, and that shouldn't matter. It shouldn't. I understand after it's all said and done, you could go back and look at it and say, man, Michael Jordan never won 3 or so-and-so, and I get that. But I think that's been in your head, and then before that, you talked a lot about him not going to the finals or being postseason, but neither has Embiid. He
hadn't won MVP either.
Right.
He's not an MVP.
I get it, but I'm just saying, I think that those things have factored in on the way you look at the Joker. If the Joker didn't, I do believe that there's a part of you that's trying to, what's the right word? Is like you're on guard for the history of the league and history of the tradition of the MVP.
Right.
And so that you feel like you have a responsibility to kind of, if those guys couldn't win 2, how in the world could this guy, and he's nothing close to them. I'm just saying, aside from his numbers. And let me just I'll just give you his numbers, Chris, in that, and I get it. It's your vote. I always respect whoever, makes the vote.
Right.
24.5 points, 11.8 rebounds, 9.8 assists, so he didn't finish with the triple-double. 63, 38, 82 is his shooting splits. Top 3 in rebounds and assists, first in triple-doubles, first in plus-minus, first in post-up points, and his team first in the West. So he has an impressive resume, and he will get votes.
Would he
but
get
I
your
agree
vote?
with you. I think I might have to vote for him when I look at the other two. I think Giannis is a distant third, and I don't know why. I know his numbers are good, Chris, maybe because he missed a lot of games. Is that fair?
He only played 5 fewer than Jokic.
But I'm just saying. But Jokic missed games, and he
66, 68, I believe.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's had impressive numbers. I think his numbers are better than a year ago when he won. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
My thing is and I hear you. Look, I think you can justify any of them.
Right. You can make a case.
Right.
I don't think that saying Embiid is like you're grasping for straws. And people who vote for the Joker, people will have a legitimate case. I just read down those stats. What stats do you have an issue with? You know what I mean?
Right. I do think. I mean, obviously, he fills the box score like nobody else. in terms of at least points, rebounds, assists. But Embiid's scoring 9 points a game more than him. I mean, that's significant. He doesn't pass it and get the assists like he does, but he's scoring 9 points a game more. And if my game, and not that this is the only thing, but if the game is in the balance, I'm going, and I need a bucket, I'm going to Embiid before I'm going to Jokic. He can draw a foul. He draws more fouls. Hits great from the free throw line, and just has a crazy mid-range game. But we'll get to the all NBA. Rob G, how we gonna do? Yeah, we took more time on that, so we'll get to that in another segment.
Yeah, because I got more issues with that than your MVP vote.
Yeah. My MVP vote, you just making junk up because you.
I'm
know
just
I
saying.
did the right thing.